Welcome, welcome, Gooners, to the very first episode of Gooner Pavilion, a community where all Arsenal fans come to talk, debate, cheer, for everything, about Arsenal. I'm your host, Eddie, and we will be diving into everything that makes being a Gooner special. Now, it doesn't matter how long you've been an Arsenal fan, whether you've been decades being an Arsenal fan, or you're just a new supporter, you're all welcome. This is your home to speak freely. This is your home to speak freely. We can talk, we can disagree, but all with that Arsenal pride, the red and the white, as well. Listen, um, we breed Arsenal in this channel. Everything about Arsenal. Come for the Arsenal. Stay for the family. Okay, guys. I've got a couple of things, to kick off our very first episode, and let's just, talk about where we are now, right? So we're third in the league. 2024 season, we're third in the league. And it's been a mix, sort of emotion as an Arsenal fan. We've had some definitely very thrilling games, some nail-biting ones, some decisions no go our way, some injuries to key players. I feel like this 9 games, we've had so much happen to us, as a club. Now, I think about the game against Manchester City. We were this close to getting a victory at the Etihad, a place where we've had untold pain in Manchester. Untold pain. We're this close to erasing all that away. Man City were definitely afraid. I think that's probably the first time they've been really been worried, about Arsenal at the Etihad, and they were very grateful for that draw. Make no mistake about it. They've got Villa, going away to Villa. That was the first couple of games in the season. Just a bit of nervousness because it was a ground that we lost again last season, but we took all 3 points, so that was great. And then we went to the noisy neighbors, our Spurs, the rivals, right? And we took all 3 points. It was beautiful to go in their backyard and beat them. Those were the good ones. There were games that, really excited, very happy. You had that bounce in your step, on a Monday morning, and you're thinking, whoo, what a game. So proud to be an Arsenal fan. And then you had the not so good games, the Brighton where we lost points. And then recently to Bournemouth when we had a man sent off and then we lost that game 2-0. Now, listen, in the Premier League, in football, you can lose games. It's how you lose. But I've got a question, for all of you that are tuning. Do you think this is the squad that would take us back to the glory days? Right? We came close last 2 seasons. Do you think this squad has got what it is to take us to the glory days, to win our first, title in a long time? Put it in the comment, below. Let me know what you guys are thinking. How are you guys feeling, about the season so far? Let's talk about the players that we have. Let's talk about, the makeup of the squad. We've got some really, established players. We've got some up and coming, some real potential, in the squad. I mean, really sad, Chido Obi Martin went over to Manchester United. Wish him all the best, but I really wish he had stayed in Arsenal because that player really looked like a prospect. But you've got the likes of Waneri, what he did in the midweek game against Preston. It just makes you feel very confident about potentially we might have, an understudy, to Martin Odegaard. Now, they're very different players, I think from what I've seen so far. But there's so much, in Waneri yet to come. And I just feel like I think Arteta is handling this well. I think, not putting too much pressure on him. I think, this season, if he features in all of the cup games, so we've got another game, that will be competitive. It will be good to see him play that game against Crystal Palace in the Carabao Cup. But, his progression, steady, not too much pressure. Let's not throw him into the limelight. Although I would have wanted him to play in that Bournemouth game because I thought that was a game that he could make a difference. But maybe he starts to come up in the Premier League, comes in for 20 minutes, 15 minutes, get more time to put an imprint into the game. We'll definitely love to see that as Gooners. But undoubtedly, the most valuable player for us is Bukayo Saka. I don't think anyone can talk any more highly about this player. We feel very proud. I feel very proud, I'm over 40 now. And, I saw this kid, come into Arsenal Football Club. And, right from a very early age, he just put Arsenal on his back. And, you can just see, the passion that he takes to the game. A right boost, when we knew that Bukayo Saka was going to play against Liverpool, it lifted everybody, lifted the fans, lifted the players, lifted the squad, and he duly delivered. So for me, Bukayo Saka is one of our great players, and I think he's going to go on, to be great, like Thierry Henry. I think, he's got the potential to be mentioned, in the same breath at the likes of Thierry Henry. I really do. I really think he is. Now they say that defense, wins championship, right? And you look at the Arsenal defense, you look at, Saliba, right? No doubt he's probably one of the best defenders right now in the world. I think that's very, very clear. But he's still very young. He's still learning. He's still making mistakes, but he's not making mistakes that are so glaring, which is what we absolutely love. But I look at that Arsenal, backline, and we've not been as strong as we were, last season. And I don't know what it is. What do you guys think, about our defense? The way that we've conceded goals, not kept as many clean sheets as we would want to, this season. But listen, we've had everything, right? We've had injuries, we had red cards, we've had, things that haven't gone our way. I think in a short amount of games, which is just 9 games in this season, we've had everything, as an Arsenal team. So I think, it's totally, understandable. I've got my notes here. I just don't want to forget, the things that I want to talk about. But it's understandable, right, for us to have, a bit of up and down. And hey, guys, listen, would we want to swap that very first season when we went for the title to maybe start it a little bit slower and then have all the squad, ready to go in that last 15 games? Because that's the money time. That's the business time. That's when, the Manchester City juggernaut really kicks in. I know people are ruling Arsenal out, already now for the title. Are you ruling Arsenal out? What do you guys think? Let me know. Where do you think, we're going to finish right now with the squad that we have? And listen, we've got the transfer window coming in January. Do you think Arsenal is going to do anything? I know I, for one, would love to see, another player coming. Can we get a striker? Like, can we go and poach someone, to come in and help us get over the line? Because I know when it gets to January, especially if we're still in the competition, the FA Cup, and also, we know that the Champions League is going to run into January as well. So that's really going to compress, games, and I think we're going to need all the help that we're going to get, to kick in. And, Man City, they're probably looking at if De Bruyne, misses half of the season, comes in the latter half of the season, that Man City are going to be even stronger. So I think we need to get up there and start picking points. And look, if we can add a couple of players, into the squad, I think, we should definitely do that. Okay, so guys, what are we missing in this squad right now? I've just talked a little bit, about, what I think, from an Arsenal perspective. I do want to hear your opinion, right? I do want to hear your opinion. Now, this is where, I want to hear from all of you guys, right? I want to hear what you guys think about our realistic chances of winning the league this season. I know we've come close, the last 2 seasons. Is this our year, guys? Is this our year? Is this the year that Arsenal, Mike gets to the summit, right? Is this that year for us? Now, listen, part of what... I'm just going to move this. So part of what makes, us Arsenal fans is the experiences that we've had in this team. And I want to hear, from your experience. So put in your comments. When did you know you were going to be a Gooner? When was that first time when you thought to yourself, do you know what? I think I'm going to support Arsenal. I think for me, going back to those early days, it was definitely, the Bergkamp, the Kanu era. Definitely that was when, what I mean, Ian Wright era, I was getting closer to being, an Arsenal fan, but I was still very young then. But I think for me, that, Beckham era, when Kanu got there, the likes of Wilton, Pires, Overmars, I think that was when I knew, that for me, that Arsenal was always going to be my blood. When did you, as a fan, decide that this was going to be the club that you were going to support? And did you have, eyes looking over the other side? Did you think you were going to be another supporter, maybe Manchester United? When was that first time? What's your first experience, watching Arsenal game? And for me, I think about, the game against Charlton. I don't know how many people remember that game. I think it was 2006. Remember that Robin van Persie volley? I was in the stadium, for that game, and it was absolutely incredible. I think I got a ticket. I can't even remember how I did. At the time, didn't have a lot of money, but I just thought, what, there was a chance to go and watch Arsenal at that Charlton stadium. And, when Abue, made that cross, to Robin van Persie, and he volleyed that. And that crazy celebration that Robin van Persie had. Let me know, when was that first time that you decided, to be an Arsenal fan? Because I think we want to know. We want to know about the stories, right? We want to know what really connects you, to Arsenal. Listen, today is the first day. What I hope will be many, 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 episodes, of this. I think, together we can build something unique. We can build something that we can love, and all of that. So if you enjoyed today's chat, please put a like, put a subscribe. Let's grow this channel, together. And for me, this is a community. Come for the Arsenal. Stay. For the family. And until the next time, guys. Take care of yourself. And we will definitely be bringing you a lot more of Arsenal. Reactions. Game reaction previews. Everything about Arsenal, talking points. Young players. Things that we're all talking about, as Arsenal fans, and you just want a community to just come, and just share, and just talk to each other. Everyone is welcome here, no matter how long you've been an Arsenal fan. So thank you very much for watching the very first episode. If you were part of today's episode, please put a comment in the comment section. I'll be looking out for you guys. And hey, listen, when we build this thing, to so many thousand of subscribers, it'll be good to look back at the day one guys, the guys that were here from the very beginning, to help build this. So, thank you guys, for all of this. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. If you enjoyed, what we talked about today, let me know, put that in the comment section, and together we will grow this thing. All right, take care of yourself. Until the next